Alright, so this is the one from the other side. You guys can see it's pretty well had it. The other side's done. Now I'm going to pull the tire off and do this side. But first I'm going to stick the jack and the stand under. And we'll pull the tire off and I'll meet you guys then. Alright. There's the last lug nut. And these tires just come right off. So I'm actually going to be doing two different jobs here. The first one we're going to be doing is the upper ball joint. And then we're going to be doing the sway bar link because we're already here and these do look original or pretty close to it. This car does have about 170,000 miles on it. So again, since we're already here and these components are so cheap, I do get them off eBay. It really kind of behooves you to change them. First thing we're going to do actually is crack this nut, take all the torque off of it, and I'll show you guys my little trick. So I used a big wrench, adjustable wrench and a hammer, and I just stick it on to the nut, and if it's a little tight, just give it a couple whacks with the hammer. That normally pops it loose. So you guys can see though it is loose, and with it loose you can just bring it back, bring the surface of the nut back up against the ball joint. And now what we're going to do is take out a cotter pin. Kind of hard to do this one-handed. Cotter pin's out. So now with the 16mm wrench, just going to loosen this nut. Till it's right about there. Give it a couple good solid whacks with a mallet or sledge. There's that. Okay, so you just take this nut off. And now it just comes out like that. Sometimes you will need to use something like a pickle fork to get under there. Now one other note I do want to make is I am going to take this car in to get it aligned anyways, just because to my knowledge I don't know when the last time it was done. Probably when it got new tires from the other owner. But I know the alignment's off, and that's what led me to start looking into this a little bit. And there was a little bit of a clunk every time I would go up and go over a bump or some rough road or something. We're going to screw it out and count how many turns. So you have 1, 5, 6, 9, 10, about 13 turns. So we'll know once we put the new ball joint in, it should take about 13 turns to bottom it out against that nut. So here's the brand new one. So here's the brand new one. I already put it on 1 turn. Alright, so that's about 13 turns. We're just going to put it right down and in place. There's that. So now all we have to do is torque up this nut to the back of the ball joint. We're going to tighten this nut down and throw that cotter key through it. Alright, cotter key is in. Everything is nice and tight. So now we can start on the sway bar link. So in order to get this thing off, you have these two 5mm studs that come out of it. You use a 5mm hex socket or a small Allen key, and then a 15mm wrench, and that'll take the nuts right off. Now, unfortunately, if your vehicle is all rusted to hell, you're going to have to use something like a hacksaw or a sawzall and get in there and lop these ends off and then pull it off that way. I've seen people have to do that, but thankfully the one good thing about living in California is it's pretty much the land of no rust. But we're going to go ahead and throw this new one in. So down there, and then up here. There we go. So what I do is start each nut a little bit. Okay, there's that one. Here's this one. And same thing when you go and tighten it up, except more than likely you won't need the 5mm hex key or socket to get it back on. And of course the new one, if I remember right, it's a 14. And I can see the stud is not turning. So I'll just make it a little tight. And that's about tight enough for me. Again, I can see the stud. It's not turning when I tighten it. So I'm not really too worried about that. Now we can just put the wheel back on. And once we do that, we can take it out on the road and see if that took care of the noise. Jack's out. Car's lowered. Let's see what happens. Turn that down so we don't get copyrighted. See if it took the noise out of the front end. It's quite a bit different, actually. I can already tell. But we'll see where the alignment is. Wait till we get out on the road for that. Steering feels straight now. It was going off to the right a little bit before I replaced those tie rod ends. Yeah, nice and perfect now. I'm not hearing any more kind of errant noises, but we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, I noticed a difference compared to how it was. I think I'm happy with that. Make a turn up here and see if there's any more noise. But the steering wheel itself is fine. I mean, if anything, it might be just the curvature of the road, but I mean, there's nothing really here that I'm alarmed about. I'm still going to get the car aligned regardless, but just because it's good to do that every now and again. Oh, I'm happy with that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more.